You're on Outside the Beltway. I'm John Fredericks. I am your blowtorch of free speech in America. Mark Livingstone coming up momentarily. Our brand new radio station in Philadelphia. Just got FCC approval for that. That's going online March the 3rd, AM 740, 103.3 FM. One other FM station, hopefully we'll have that as well. Philadelphia, Wilmington, Southern New Jersey. We're going to be blasting out the John Fredericks Media Network, and we're going to have a special show, 6 to 7 p.m., live, Monday to Friday. We're not going to tell you what it is. That's just my little teaser. Spoiler alert. That's coming in the next few days. Joining me now, the one and only Mark Livingstone. Let me tell you about Mark Livingstone. He's has been a founding sponsor of mine for 12 years. That's a long time. But here's the thing. Mark Livingstone has been with us every single step of the way. I remember calling him up way back in January of 2015. I told him, Donald J. Trump is getting in this race. He's going to run for president. I'm going to endorse him immediately, and he's going to win. And Livingstone was like, he's at like 1% in the polls. I'm like, dude, believe me, okay? He's got this figured out. I can feel it from my callers. Everybody's mad. And Mark has been there with us as a deplorable every step of the way. In fact, I tell this story all the time. When I went to cover Trump coming down the escalator, which was in New York in Trump Tower, where I need to get up there, drive all the way up there, and stay in a hotel. And money was very tight back then. Nobody would sponsor me. I called Mark Livingstone up. I said, I need a sponsor. I need your help. I want to cover him live. He's like, done. We did that. He's been there with us from the beginning. We have to support those who stand with us in our times of need. And that's Mark Livingstone. And he's joining us now. Mark, thanks for being with us. You're in the Washington studio. We were talking offline. You said you saw something unnerving on the way in. What was that, Mark?
Absolutely, John, and thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be here with your viewers. Taking the Uber ride over here. We're just one block north of the White House right now. And in the Uber, on the ride over here, I saw them putting up fences in preparation for the State of the Union address next Tuesday. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, Joe Biden, who can't secure our southern border, is putting up walls around the U.S. Capitol. I mean, who does that, right? This just, the ignorance of this administration just blows my mind. And it just gets worse and worse every single day. But hey, that's not why we're here today. I'm here, John, to talk to your viewers, to tell them what's really happening here within the housing and mortgage industry. Now, last time I was on here 2 weeks ago, we talked about inflation being at a 40-year high, the highest level since 1982. It's just unbelievable. Well, since I was last on, John, what has happened is that now all the economic indicators are reporting that the economy is just forging ahead despite Omicron, despite the supply chain issues, despite the Ukraine-Russian dilemma that's going on right now. And so what that means is that people are getting prepared for this interest rate hike that is imminent. Okay, we talked about how the Fed is going to have to react in order to get the inflation in check. Right now, inflation's right around 7%. So what Jerome Powell is indicating is that they're going to raise rates as soon as March 16th, which is the next Fed meeting, by not a quarter, but likely a half. And today I read something, John, that said it may be even as much as 0.75%. Now, the takeaway in this is that the economic indicators are showing that interest rates should be, in a normal time, up around 4.5% to 5%. So the window of having rates around 3.5% to 4%, which is where the 30-year fixed is right now, is closing very, very quickly. So the viewers that are on the fence and thinking about doing something, whether it's buying a large appliance or taking out a home equity loan, need to do it right now because rates are going up. It is imminent. The Fed has already rang the dinner bell saying that the rates are going to go up. March 16th is going to be the first of probably 5 or 6 rate hikes this year.
It could be as many as 7, and Jerome Powell's between a rock and a hard place. He's got to raise rates. You can't have this raging inflation. He's kind of in a Rubik's cube because if he doesn't do anything, inflation is going to continue to rage. That's eating away at savings. But the bottom line is, I think he's going to go 0.75% right off the bat. Then he said it's going to be another 6 in a row after that, a quarter or a half. So if you're looking to refi, buy a new home, get a mortgage, do a reverse, whatever you're trying to do, right now is the absolute minimum rate that you're going to have starting on 3/16. Everything is going up. We just don't know how high it'll be, 5, 6, 7%. Remember, during Reagan, back then, we only had $1 trillion in debt. Paul Volcker came in, inflation was raging. He got interest rates all the way up to 15%. Now, we can't do that now, but we're going to have increases. No question about it.
Right, and
How
that's
do
something
people act
too,
now?
John. Interest rates 40 years ago, when inflation was this high, were at 17%. If you were buying a house and putting down the minimum 20% down like it was 40 years ago, your interest rate was right around 17%. So again, that window is closing that you have these ultra low interest rates. Historically speaking, rates are still at the lowest that they've been in over 50 years. So now, while not is all doom and gloom because of these rising interest rates, remember, we're talking about home appreciation across the United States. We've seen the average in the United States increase 19%, with some pockets, some areas of your viewers and listener area, 25%, where you are in Orlando right now, John, Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia, right here in pockets of Washington, D.C., we've seen upwards of 25%. What does this mean for your viewers? Well, if they bought a house a year or 2 or 3 ago, and they didn't put down the 20%, so they have this mortgage insurance, monthly mortgage insurance to offset putting down 20%, they can now refinance and eliminate that PMI because the values have appreciated so much just in the last year. Or take cash out for any reason, and they can use that cash and it'll be tax deductible. They can use it to pay off student loan. They can use it to pay off credit cards. They can use it to pay off home equity lines of credit. You know, the Trump tax plan multiple years ago made it so that home equity lines of credit are no longer tax deductible. Well, if you wrap it into your mortgage, it will be tax deductible. So it's kind of a no-brainer, I'd say.
Look, there's no question about it. These rates are going up. The time to act is now. And if you can get rid of that PMI, right, which is the mortgage insurance, that's just money you're paying to the gangster bankers on Wall Street. You might as well flush it down the toilet. So look, I say this all the time. You know, go to your bank, put on a suit and tie like I do, get your shoes shined, grovel in front of them, fill out the paperwork, put 5 masks on. They have face shields, whatever they do. When it's said and done, okay, call this guy up, Mark Livingstone, because he's going to beat the deal. Why would you just give the gangster banksters extra money for what? Nothing. Absolutely insane. All right, I'm going to go to Mark Livingstone, the volunteer firefighter in the People's Republic of Maryland. Roll the tape.
As a volunteer firefighter, I respect the dedication and sacrifice of the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who serve this country. I'm Mark Livingstone with Cornerstone First Financial, your local mortgage lender who specializes in programs for veterans. Programs like borrowing up to 100% of your home's value, streamline refinancing with no appraisal needed, and purchasing a home with no money down. You served us, now let us serve you. Call us today.
You know, Mark, I really love that because, you know, giving back into the community is one of the things that we always talk about. And on my radio show, everybody knows this. You know, I do public service ads that no one else will do. They're just live reads. And I do that because you have to give back, right? You have to give something back. And I know that you've been doing that for a very long time. I want to talk a second about your Hometown Hero program, and how does that work?
John, yes. Well, we love our hometown heroes. Our hometown heroes can be defined as anyone in the military, firefighters, police officers, teachers, or medical workers. And so one thing that we offer is the Hometown Hero program. And what that means is that if you do a loan with Cornerstone First Financial, whether a purchase or refinance, we're going to give you a credit of $750, which can be used for closing costs, paying off appraisal, or anything that you want. And that Hometown Hero gets the $750. We also are aligned with a real estate company that if you use that real estate company, they have the Hometown Hero program as well, where they'll give 20% of their commission back towards your closing costs or whatever you like to buy down points or whatever. So the Hometown Hero program, an exceptional program because it's for exceptional people and those heroes, so give us a call and we'll get you wrapped up for the Hometown Hero program.
Here's the bottom line. I love for my viewers and listeners to save money. Now's the time to do this. Livingstone has been with us for a long time. Look, we have to support those who support us, right? This is what I've been saying for some time. It's almost like we have to have a separate economy. And I'm not going to do business with anybody that is, for teaching CRT, for not having kids in school, for all this liberal left-wing agenda, what's going on in Canada. We have to support those that are putting their money where their mouth is and backing us. Mike Lindell, Mark Livingstone, etc. Mark, people want to get in touch with you, maybe take a shot. I know that challenged credit's now opening up a little bit. Where do they go? How do they
John, they can reach out to us, and we have loan officers standing by right now. Our toll-free number is 1-888-417-2921 or online at cornerstonefirst.com. And it's whether it's a refinance or a purchase, the time is running out. The time is now to get locked into a low fixed rate. And right now you have so many people coming off the sidelines to buy houses. You need to work with a company you can trust that can get you pre-approved and to the closing table in record time. And that is my company and I at Cornerstone First Financial. So cornerstonefirst.com or the 888-417-2921. We're licensed in 41 states across the country. Do yourself a favor, even if you've tried before, call us and see what we can do for you.
Andrew Clyde is next. Thank you, Mark.
As a volunteer firefighter, I respect the dedication and sacrifice of the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who serve this country. I'm Mark Livingstone with Cornerstone First Financial, your local mortgage lender who specializes in programs for veterans. Programs like borrowing up to 100% of your home's value, streamline refinancing with no appraisal needed, and purchasing a home with no money down. You served us, now let us serve you. Call us today.